During the holiday, my wife and I went to Lake District, up to Barron Furnace, and there they have a shop called Crafty Hobbies. One half of it's dedicated to card making, so that's my wife happy. The other half is dedicated to model railways, that's me happy. Almost like heaven. I saw this on the shelf, little label there, forget it, says poorly. I think I persuaded the guy to let me have it for about £15. Will I have my money's worth? Let's find out. Hi YouTubers, welcome to another servicing video from Sorts 6233, and on the bench tonight you can see 00 gauge made by Airfix. I've never worked on an Airfix 00 train. In its box, cellophane's a bit torn, box a bit battered and worn. Okay, I don't know how old these are, but it's got end flaps. So let's take it out of the box and see what it looks like. It's, of course, for those who know, it's a 060 with tender. I think they call this a Fowler. Yeah, they just make out Fowler on the rather torn label, so I don't even know if it works or anything. I've never taken it out of this box, so we're in this together. Reluctant to come out. Obviously been worked on at some time before. Yep. Yeah, someone's definitely been working on this previously. So it's a tender driven locomotive, so I think I would probably want to work on the motor first. Right, well here's the tender. Couple of things I notice: decals missing, rear coupler missing, and there's also a little valve thing which goes in the water pump pipe. I never fit them anyway, so that's not a problem. The tender draw hole there. But the other thing is I don't know about is the fact that if you look, it says main line, and yet it comes out of an Airfix box. Maybe you'll know more about that, but did Airfix use mainline tenders? Okay, cover off time held in by a little screw which I've taken out. Here we have the tender weight held in by a couple of screws, so I'm just going to take those out. At least that's the way it seems to me. And hopefully fair weight in that too. And here we have yeah, this is a ring fueled motor, and if I look around here, there are no connections. I think I have been well and truly done. Yes, this has been well and truly done. So let's just keep going. Does this come out? Oh well. I don't know if it's worthwhile taking this any further. Until I can find any more, because is that the I'm just trying to verify if... No, so I'm thinking out loud without actually thinking anything. Except, what do I do now? So, if I see a couple of screws that hold on something, I'll take them out and see what happens when I take it. Because this has definitely been got at, and I have been well and truly had. The chap in the shop did say it had been around for a while, and I think he got it from somebody else, so I'm not going to be judgmental with the guy in the shop. I think he has also been had. Let's see, there's the armature, and where's the brushes? I don't see any brushes, they may be in here. Well, I've taken the motor apart, and I'm pleased to say that the armature is there, the brushes and the springs are all here, so at least I think I ought to be able to get the motor up and running. After that, we'll see how it goes into a locomotive. Well, I think I certainly found a little problem. Inside the ring motor housing, attached to the armature, is this little set of gears, and they are absolutely solid. So I don't think that would help any free movement of the locomotive anywhere. So this has definitely been a problem. This turned out to be a problem. This here is a spindle, and it was absolutely jammed in this gear. So I had to force it out. It was rusty, so I very carefully, fine sandpaper, worked away at it, lubricated it, and now it's almost like an axle instead of a hub. So just a wee bit of lubrication in there, and the wheel, the gear should now rotate fairly freely. There we go. So I'm just going to clean up all the rest of this assembly, lubricate the housing wherever it is. I've lost it, it's over here somewhere, there it is. So a couple bits in here to lubricate, and we should put all that back together and we should start to get some working mechanism. So a quick partial assembly, and there we go, much more free than it was before. Check the armature using my resistance meter, and between each pair of contacts I'm getting about 19 ohms, and I've rubbed the face as best I could with Brasso, cleaned it up. It's quite old, so I'm not going to bother with that blackness. I think it should work. So gears cleaned, oiled, axles, bit of lubrication, and that's what we should be getting. Once it sits in, the rear gear wheel should also operate. Yep. Okay, in fact it's like a geared down mechanism. Yep, you just see it turning there much more slowly. So it's a step down gearing. Working fine. The brush and spring are housed in these brass capillary tubes. So I primed this one. Now I have to fit it into the motor housing. Here. That should just push down onto the commutator of the motor. Don't think there's any particular guideline. Nope, just give it a little push. Like so, and I'll do the same with the other one. I was partly through the rebuild, and I realised I had this horseshoe shaped part to fit in, so I couldn't remember where it came from, but after a bit of trial and error I realised that it sits inside the housing, and acts as a guide for these gears. Sits in there, holds them in place and allows them to move freely. So now I can set this back onto the motor armature, and once I get that through the gear, like so, that should fit in nicely. Make sure it's working freely. Yep, that's engaging. Good. This is something I find that you do part of a repair, part of a reassembly, and you find a bit at the bottom of the box. Ever since I was little and I used to strip down clocks and try and put them back up again, I always had a screw extra. Never figured out where they came from, but funny enough, everything seemed to work well. Right. Okay, so shall we face the moment of truth? Here's my application probe. We've got about 4 volts on it. Let's see what happens. Oh, look at that. I wonder when the last time that motor turned of its own violation. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, so that seems pretty good so far. So here's the completed tender. I'm applying power through the probes, dangling it, because I don't have a rolling rod to hold us yet. And there we go, a nice running tender. The axles on these wheels were rusted, so I have to clean them off and lubricate them. But it's working. And my problem now will be, how do I apply power to the motor, because these wheels are plastic, there are no pickups, so obviously the pickup must come from the locomotive. I think, folks, I'm going to make that a part 2, because to be honest with you, I'm just about to close up shop. We're going on holiday to sunny Devon. I don't know if I'll get a chance to meet any of you guys down Devon direction. I'm hoping there might be a show somewhere along the way. So I'll be back in a couple of weeks, and then I'll start on part 2, which will be the locomotive, which is in Airfix. So thanks for watching. Hope you like it. Not complete yet, so look out for Fowler Airfix Part 2. Till then, people, you take care of yourself, keep the masks on, respect other people, wash your hands often, and be very careful. Until then, take care, thanks for watching, bye for now.